Ladies, before we get into today's video, I want to speak directly to you. Black love is one of the most beautiful things God ever created, and they know it. That is why they took it off our televisions. That is why they removed it from magazines. That is why it's no longer in commercials. That is why they work so hard to strip it from our imagination. But I'm here to tell you it is still possible and it is still real. And it starts with us. Ladies, it is our responsibility to get back in place so God can use us in the most perfect and powerful way He designed us. Today, I want to share with you the very first step in that realignment. Maybe you had a mother who taught you when to speak and when to be silent. Maybe you had a father whose look alone told you when you had gone too far. Or maybe no one taught you any of that. Whatever your background has been, that's okay. Because my intention is to prepare you to become the most powerful, purposeful, beautiful version of the woman God already placed inside of you. Let's get into it. There is one skill that separates women in healthy relationships from women who stay single and frustrated. It's not looks. It's not money. It's the ability, ladies, to listen. Most women have never been taught this, and it is costing them everything. Good men are not leaving because of incompatibility only. They are leaving because of something happening in the very first minutes of every conversation. You cannot show up well in a relationship if you do not know who you are. If you do not know your own triggers, your own patterns, your own weaknesses, you will react instead of respond every single time. Watch what happens when a man holds a woman to a point. The moment he asks a direct question, she stops engaging and starts defending.
But let me ask you this question, because this is basically going to tell me everything I need to know. What do you think a man does to show that he's serious about you and wants to for you to be his woman? What do you think that looks like? And it's going to tell me everything I need to know about your mentality.
Okay, I would start off by saying, like, they asked me about my goals,
Nope.
Basically, like, what he believes in. They're pretty open about what they do and themselves. It's like I said, I've been single for 5 to 6 years by choice.
No, you're not single.
So, like, now that I'm back, actually dating, I only date since then. So, like, it's just they're very open and they ask questions like very like deep.
This is the thing. You're not single by choice. You're single by circumstance. You're not single by choice.
Why do you say by circumstance if I literally wasn't interested in being in a relationship for the last 6 years?
I'll prove it to you.
Even now, I'm still not interested in being in a relationship.
I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. 3 years ago, let's say you were at a bus stop, right? Let's just say you were at a bus stop and you only have 2 options. One of the options are you're going to get on this bus and this man is going to be the best man that you've ever seen in your life. He's the most attractive man. He treats you right. He's loving. He's caring. He does everything that you want. And you knew for a fact, not if he going to do it later. No, you knew for a fact that he would never cheat on you, lie to you, or abuse you. And he was going to be the best man that you've ever had. And y'all was going to grow old and die together. Would you get on that bus and go live that life? Or would you get on the bus where you're just going to continue to be single and still trying to be out here figuring it out? Which one would you choose?
That is a really good question.
Yeah, which one would you choose?
Because it's kind of too accurate because low key, I don't mind being single for the rest of my life.
I didn't ask you if you did.
But I know I'm a good woman, and if when it's...
I have to mute you because you women do a lot of babbling and a lot of just rambling. I didn't ask you any of that. None of those things matter to the question I just asked you. Respectfully, I don't care. I'm gonna ask you the question again. You on a bus. You have 2 options on the bus, Callie, and one of these buses is going to be the best man that you've ever seen in your life and the best man that you're ever going to deal with in your life. Y'all going to grow old and die together. He's never going to cheat on you, lie to you, or abuse you. He's going to treat you right, be a good leader, be a man of God, and everything you ever wanted. And you have another bus that's going to keep you in the same position that you're in now, which is still 30 trying to figure it out and basically questioning what your dating market issues are, which bus would you get on?
Okay, I'm hopping on a bus. The first one.
The bus with the man?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you're not single by choice. You're single by circumstance because the man that you want has not came around to pick you. That's why you're single. So miss me with the single by choice bullshit. Respectfully, you're single by circumstance.
I think you're listening to me to not understand, because I literally said I was getting myself together physically and mentally, making sure I was in a career that I liked. So why would I be dating if I had all that going on?
Yeah, because that means that you don't listen. You don't listen very well.
Even now, I got all that
just
together.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
I still don't.
Right. Okay. So then that means you just destroyed your own talking point. Even now, I got all together and I still don't, which means that you didn't agree with me. You didn't even understand that. I heard exactly what you said, which is why I gave you that. Which is why I gave you that example. You said that you would take the bus with a man on it, which means that you're not single by choice. You're single by circumstance. Because if you were single by choice, you would take the bus that because I choose to not be with the man, even if he's a great man, I choose to be single. You're single because the man that you want don't want you, or he just ain't came around yet. That's why you're single, and that's okay. That's most people. You're not special. I ain't special. So you got to get out of that entitlement mentality that you got. You got to get out of that.
That's true. Okay, so and even if he came around today, I still want to take it slow and not fully commit.
But that's not the argument. Nobody said anything about speed. What are you talking about? I didn't say nothing about how fast y'all gonna take it. The question was very direct and simple. Which bus you getting on? You said the first bus, which means you not single by choice. You single by circumstance. I didn't say nothing about how fast y'all gonna figure it out. I didn't mention none of that. How do you know if a man is serious about you? If he wants you to be his girlfriend?
By intentions, by listening to what I say and then like taking action on it. So that's how I know. Like on top of like, usually like I'm very spiritual, like, and I believe in God ways. So I use my discernment too. So I would like add that in there. But like, yeah, a man of his word, like he not just talking, he like living it, he walking it. So yeah, that's pretty much like from me being in this new age and back dating, that's what I know.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not what a man does to show he's serious about a woman at all.
So what does he do?
He's going to be territorial about you and put boundaries on you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I know that was going to be.
Isn't that a part of intention, though?
No,
like,
intention can be anything. No, that's not a part of intention. Anything. Okay. No, that's not a part of intention. Intention is specific to what we're talking about. That's not a part of it, meaning like if he's intentional, he gonna do all of this. No, he can intentionally just want to, so he willing to sit on the phone and talk to you because he intentionally just want to hit.
I don't do too much of that, but yeah.
I didn't say you did. You don't have to defend yourself. I'm not saying you do. I'm giving you the position of the man and his intention.
So when you say territory, do you mean like?
I'll tell you this: if a man is serious about you, and if you around a good man, you're not gonna have this on your page. This would never be anything that a woman of value would have on her page dealing with a man of value. This is what women are going to have when on their page when they've been single for 5-6 years and they don't know why the man that they want don't want them and the guys that they deal with they don't like. So the reason why you're single, and it don't have nothing to do specifically with this. This just tells me where your mentality is. This tells me what you prioritize. This tells me your value in the dating market and the fact that the only thing that you can put out there to show of anything of any value to a man is your looks. And that's why you probably deal with the men that you deal with. And that's probably also why you use the femininity word and you use that standard.
But they don't see me in that way. I don't get men from...
I can't do it. You too lost in the sauce. You're going to continue to be delusional.
She's not reacting to him. She is reacting to something inside herself she has never dealt with. Sternness is not the problem. The problem is that no one has ever held her accountable before, so when someone does, it feels like an attack. A woman who knows herself does not crumble when a man is direct. She listens, she evaluates, she responds with clarity. And that changes everything about how men see her. Most women think they understand men. They don't. They understand their feelings about men, and that is a completely different thing. To understand how a man thinks, what he values, how he makes decisions, you have to listen to a man. Not just hear. Listen. It's a distinct difference. He asks a simple, direct question. Instead of sitting with it, she interrupts. She explains. She justifies. She name calls. One woman could not define a word she had used. When pressed, she attacked his character rather than admitting she did not know. A man does not want to walk on eggshells every time he needs to speak truth to the woman he loves. He wants a woman who can receive what he is saying, sit with it, and respond with maturity, not emotion. The woman who listens is the woman a man can trust. That's the foundation that every lasting relationship is built upon, ladies. It's trust. There is a pattern that plays out over and over again. A man makes a point, a woman cannot counter it, so instead of thinking, she attacks.
One, I'm gonna apologize because I very much wasn't disrespectful to you.
That's
I am
okay.
from New York.
Hold on. That's a backhanded apology. Whether you felt like it was or not, at first of all, I don't need you to apologize to me. I just want you to calm your energy down. If you felt like it wasn't disrespectful, cool. I don't need you to apologize. I just want you to calm your energy down. Just relax a little bit and let's have a conversation as adults. There you go. Now go ahead.
Right, you're right. So, all right. So, question. So, I'm saying, right. So, if I'm dating a guy, right, and we're dating, and he asks me, he suggests or asks me like, "Hey, can you change your clothes? I don't like what you're wearing." Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a boundary for me, right? That's not controlling. But then you have men. We're not going to act like men are not controlling or they're not trying to control women. You have situations where women get into situations with guys where you feel like it became a boundary and now it becomes down the line. He's a controlling man. He doesn't want you to be with your family. He doesn't want you to be with your friends. He's controlling your dynamic. And I want to know, do you feel that as a boundary or do you feel it as controlling?
Okay, so let me clarify what I was saying. So do you know what an example is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when I brought up Chris Brown, I was given an example to say the reason why I brought that up was because a lot of women, they pick and choose when they want to insert the word control. So if you're a boyfriend who's a regular guy, if he tells you to change your outfit, you won't listen. I'm not saying you, I'm giving an example. You is in hypothetically who it is. You won't listen and you'll say, no, that's controlling and that's insecure. But if Chris Brown says it, right? That same woman hypothetically don't think it's controlling or insecure because it's Chris Brown. So the point that I was making was it's not about what's being said. It's about who said it. That's the only reason why I brought up Chris Brown, meaning that if a woman reveres this man in a high enough standard, she don't feel like it's controlling. Women pick and choose. So if it's controlling, it has to be controlling across the board. It can't be controlling because the $50,000 dude said it or the $50 million dude said it. It wouldn't make a difference because it's not about the money or who he is as a man. It's about what he's saying. So if it's controlling, it got to be controlling across the board. Now, what I was trying to also say to you was control is force. So if I tell you I don't want you to do something and I'm putting like an ultimatum or I'm like standing in front of the door and you want to go out or some shit, that's where it starts to get controlling because I am trying to just hoard you and keep you to like, you know what I'm saying, in some type of like box or some shit like that. Now, the point that I'm making is what I'm saying is a boundary. So if you agree to my boundary, that's not control. That's two people that agree. So if I tell you, Ani, I don't want you hanging with this person because I don't think that this is a good look for you. I don't think this woman is good for you. I think she's a bad influence, and I don't think that she is a woman that makes you a better woman. Now, if you be like, you know what, and I understand that. I agree. You know, I agree with you. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to you. That's not control because first of all, I didn't tell you. I asked you. But even if I did, it shouldn't fucking matter. But you agree to it. So that's not control. Right. It would be control if you didn't agree to it and I'm taking your phone and I'm blocking her. I'm texting her from your phone, acting like you, cussing a bitch out, trying to find something. I'm taking Instagram and block her. Like, that's where the control and the weird shit come in. I don't advise no man to control no motherfucking woman. You give a woman your boundary and your preferences and the shit that you will and won't go for, and it's her decision if she want to abide by it. So that's what I mean. So it's like a job. I'm gonna give you the last example. It's like a job. The job is not forcing you to controlling you to get there at 7:30. But if they say to work here, you need to clock in at 7:30, it's your decision if you want to get up. You don't have to get up, but you just won't work there. Same logic applies for a man in a relationship. You don't have to do nothing that he say, but he might not want to commit to you. And that's the point that I'm making.
When a man corrects a woman or holds her to something she has already said, the response too often is to go after his manhood, to call him controlling, to say he is not a real man, to throw out words she cannot even define when pressed.
But I would say, like, your mindset is conditioned by conservative white men.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, I mean, your whole, like, traditional values, that comes from Western society.
Traditional values come from Western society?
Yeah, these traditional values specifically.
Okay, so no. Hold on. What do you mean by these? So are there different types of traditional values? Because traditional means one thing. Traditional is traditional. It's just that. There isn't like, well, this type of traditional, this type of traditional. There's only one type of traditional. So what would you classify as this type of traditional that I'm speaking of?
Yeah, like for where we are right now, that is traditional. But in different places in the world, different times, there's different ways of living. Like, this is not the only...
No. You said that I am conditioned by conservative white men because I have traditional values. So I'm asking you, what are those things? Be specific.
Like how in the past before, like, women couldn't work because of, sexism. And so you have like this thing in your head of wanting women to be housewives.
Okay, so
I mean, it aligns with that.
Okay, so when you go to countries like Palestine, those women are not allowed to work or drive. Is that from conservative white men?
No.
Okay, so you do realize I just destroyed your talking point, right? When you go to countries like Japan, or you go to countries like China, where those men are very, 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 very traditional, is that from conservative white men? When you go to countries and you go to tribes in Africa where they don't even have these things. They're in tribes where the women are not even allowed to be around the men. They have to be separate because one tribe is over here and one tribe is over here. They don't even speak English. They've never had Instagram. They don't know what social media is. Is that from conservative white men as well?
No.
Okay, so where? So hold on. Wait. So where do they get the different? Where do they have the distinction? Where does the distinction come from when they say women are not allowed to be over here because they have a vagina and men are supposed to be over here because they have a penis? Since it's not coming from conservative white men, where is it coming from?
Misogyny is not a thing that only exists.
What is misogyny?
With white men.
What is misogyny?
Like,
define misogyny.
Say like oppression.
That's not misogyny. Define misogyny.
I mean, I don't know the exact definition.
Well, you should, because you're in you decided to come up and you're defending your position, and this is the problem, because a lot of women are not intelligent, and you give points and you have no facts, because the definition of misogyny is not oppression. It's not oppression. Black people were oppressed in America. That's not misogyny. So you have to give the definition of misogyny. We're still waiting on that definition.
Okay, well, do you want to tell me it then?
No. I want you to define it because you used it. You used the word. You should be able to define the words that you used. And we're going to do this so that the comments can't help you.
I don't have definitions memorized.
Well, I think that's the problem. And you don't, okay, so like, you don't have, okay, this is common sense though. Like, this is common sense stuff. I didn't ask for definitions. I didn't ask for anything plural. I asked for one definition. You said that misogyny is prevalent everywhere. Okay, so define it.
Right.
You can't even define
that is a
your
true
own
statement,
word.
though.
Okay, but you can't even define the term misogyny, though. You can't even define it. So how are we able to follow you and even to believe or agree with what you say when you can't even define your own term that you're using?
Men see through this every time, ladies. A man who speaks truth to you directly is a man who respects you enough to be honest. Most women do not know how rare that is. Instead of receiving it, they punish him for it. And then they wonder why he goes silent. You trained him to stop talking. You made honesty feel dangerous. That is the cycle we have to break. When you stop reacting, start listening, you become the kind of woman a man feels safe being honest with. And that is when real intimacy begins. If this video spoke to you, please like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a thoughtful comment. Share with me the importance that you need to clearly have, or how you may have learned to listen, or what you may have learned about your inability to listen. I need to know what you feel. But I am going to be unapologetic. Ladies, we need to listen more and speak less. God bless you. The links to Ant CEO video clips used in this video are in the description. Go watch them. They will show you everything we talked about today in real time. I'm Deborah, and this is Family Still Matters. And because family still matters, and because God designed us for relationships, for love, and for purpose, learning to listen is not just a dating skill. It is how we honor the people He has placed in our lives. Thank you very much, and may God continue to richly bless you. And I'm going to leave you with this word in James 1:19. It says, understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. May God richly bless you.